Yeah, first of all, let me just thank the community. The outpouring of support has once been amazing, and it shows why Houston's the greatest city in the world. I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who already contacted us to make sure these officers are doing all right. And I want to thank all of our partners at HFD, all the officers out on that scene, who all played a crucial role in getting them down here. And certainly thank you to the medical staff, the world-class medical staff here that are taking care of our officers. But now I want to speak on behalf of the 5,200 brave men and women of the Houston Police Department and the other 800,000 police officers that are working these streets every single day, putting their lives on the line. We are sick and tired of having targets on our back. We are sick and tired of having dirtbags trying to take our lives when all we're trying to do is protect this community and protect our families. Enough is enough. And if you're the ones that are out there spreading the rhetoric that police officers are the enemy, well, just know we've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all, and we're going to make sure that we hold you accountable every time you stir the pot on our police officers. We've had enough, folks. We're out there doing our jobs every day, putting our lives on the line for our families. Enough is enough. Now, please, keep these officers in your prayers.
Watch the press conference today that the chief had.
I did.
Did you have any information prior to the chief talking on camera?
I did not have any prior information to the chief talking on camera, but obviously the allegations that the chief laid out are extremely disturbing and extremely concerning to us. But I think it's important to remember that that does not reflect the 5,200 brave men and women of the Houston Police Department who go out there every single day putting their lives on the line for their community.
The question is obvious. Why is this extremely disturbing?
Well, you know, anytime that you have a warrant, you have to ensure that you've done your due diligence to ensure that everything in that warrant is true. And if the allegations are correct, then it appears that that is not the case for the warrant that he received to go into that house.
This was a big story. I was actually one of the first reporters on scene when this happened, and there was a lot of talk about all this information flooding in that these were bad guys, these were wanted for heroin. We kept hearing that word a lot. And then here we go a month later, that's not the case at all. How does that looks pretty bad for the police department.
I think it's important for everyone to remember that we did not come to that house by happenstance. We received a call where a mother had called in concerned that her daughter was at that location doing drugs, and officers actually went out to that scene. So it wasn't as if we picked that house by random. And it appears that an investigation took place. However, we know that some things were probably going on bad at that house, but that our officer, it appears, did not do his due diligence to ensure that everything was correct that went in that warrant.
That entire neighborhood, the day after that shooting happened, we're pretty confident that these people, some of them knew him well, but they were quiet people, they were kept it to themselves, and there were nice people that interacted with everybody in that neighborhood. You say this was not just a random thing where they just popped up at their house, but now you have 2 lives lost from a mistake, from a negligence. Could you agree with negligence on the officer's part?
Well, listen, I think it's important for everyone to remember, we did not just pick that house by happenstance. We have call slips. We have 911 call. We have all of these things confirmed that there was someone that called that said there was drugs being done inside the house. You know, we still believe that there was some bad things going on in that house. Obviously, there were narcotics found inside the home, but that it appears our officer did not do his due diligence to ensure that everything was done properly for that warrant.
What do you have to say today about knowing this, there was a mistake, and as a result of that mistake, 2 people are dead?
Well, obviously, anytime there is a loss of life, it is a complete tragedy. But it's important for folks to remember, it wasn't by chance that we came to this house. It wasn't by happenstance. They had information that led themselves to believe that there was illegal activity going on inside of that house. We still believe that there was some bad things. There were narcotics found in the home. However, it appears that our officer did not do his due diligence in order to ensure that they had a proper warrant to do that. But it is not indicative of the 5,200 brave men and women of this department who go out there every single day and do the job the right way.
When this came out today, what kind of message do you think this sends to the community? I mean, the community is very upset by this.
Well, of course, I would expect people to be upset, but I think it's important to remember that our officers go out there every single day. They put their lives on the line for their community, and they do the job the right way. And us here at the HPOU are going to be supportive of any policy reviews or changes that need to be made to ensure that something like this never happens again.
Okay. I think this is my last question. Let's go back to that day when you talked, and I think you were very heated with emotion. you're in law enforcement, you're representing police department, and a lot of the police officers really supported when you talked about we're tired. But now, do you think you spoke too soon at that point when you said, I'm sick and tired of these dirt bags, and we've got your number, we're tracking you? Do you kind of feel it was too soon to say that, or after finding out all these facts now that came out, or do you still stand by that statement?
Listen, I think it's important for everyone to remember, we did not come to that house by happenstance. We had calls that showed that there was illegal activity going on there. We believe that at the time the officer was doing his due diligence to make sure that they had that warrant and did it properly. But now it appears that they did not. But we still believe that there were some bad things going on inside of that home.
But even if it was bad, maybe the outcome of what happened wasn't right. I mean, even though it was bad, maybe it could have handled differently. Maybe the cop could have did his job a little bit better that day, but that didn't happen. And now you have other communities or other people in the same community worried about, are they going to get it wrong this time? Am I going to be the next house? Because, that area does have some drug activities. I mean, people will tell you. So that's kind of concerning. I know that you said that these people were doing illegal activities in there. They did find drugs in the house. But I mean, that does not compare to the fact of this other officer didn't do his job correctly, and that's why they ended up there, and that's why 2 people died.
Obviously, if the allegations are correct, it's extremely disturbing and concerning that somebody would do a warrant improperly. But we weren't there by happenstance. We had received calls previously, and as I said earlier, we will support any policy reviews or changes that need to be made to ensure something like this never happens again.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to remind the community that one officer's actions is not indicative of the hard work that 5,200 brave men and women put in every single day protecting the community they love.
What's the lesson here, I guess?
I think the lesson is always to make sure that you are doing every single thing properly, and even though there may be illegal activity going on, even though there may be things that are going on wrong inside a house, everyone needs to make sure that they do their due diligence to ensure that everything is done properly.